wonderful people of YouTube. This is Emily, and I want to do a pregnancy update. So, today I want to talk about a topic first, and then I'm going to talk about second trimester, basically where I'm at with my pregnancy right now. What I'm talking about are pregnancy symptoms, so symptoms that women go through while they're pregnant. And situations will come up where a woman will tell you, you know, when I was pregnant, I experienced this. And you're like, oh, I haven't experienced that. And they're like, really? Because that's really weird, because you're supposed to experience this, 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 and that. And if you're not, then that's really weird. And they kind of like vaguely tell you that something might be wrong with you or with your pregnancy, and cause all these false alarms and unneeded stress, like I said. So I started to get worried about a few things. And because of this situation with well-meaning friends, you know, other women that have gone through pregnancies, coworkers, friends, just people in my life that will tell me, you know, I experienced this and I experienced that, and why aren't you, kind of a, you know, thing. And I started to get really worried, and I started to Google, and I couldn't figure out if there was something wrong with me or not. So I had my last OBGYN appointment. It's been a couple weeks ago now. So while I was there, I had written down a whole list of questions that I wanted to clear up. You know, is there something wrong with me or what? And so I asked him a bunch of different questions. For example, one of my questions was, all these people are telling me that my hair should be growing really quickly. It should be growing like weeds. I should have such a hard time keeping up with, you know, the haircuts and stuff. And my hair has been growing actually slower than what it was before I got pregnant. And I had actually Googled this whole hair growing scenario with pregnancy, and there is an actual very detailed scientific reason why your hair can grow really fast during pregnancy. I'm not going to get into it, but if you Google it, you'll probably figure it out as well. There's a whole process that goes on. And so I was asking my doctor about that, and he said, it's not necessarily true. You know, a lot of women do experience really quick hair growth, but not all women experience that, and they can experience the opposite, and it's completely normal. Has nothing to do with your health being good or bad. It's just, you know, it's just the way it is. It depends on your individual body and your situation, and that doesn't cause any kind of red flags to come up. So I said, okay, well, what about, okay, people keep telling me that I should be feeling really hot, because at that point I was almost at the end of my second trimester. I think I was on week 12, and I'm like, shouldn't I be feeling really hot and, like, you know, wanting to wear shorts and stuff, even though it's still kind of chilly outside? And he goes, no, you shouldn't. I mean, that is something that a lot of pregnant women experience, but not all pregnant women experience feeling hotter than normal. Because, I mean, that's the one major thing that almost every single person that I've told I'm pregnant, and when my due date is, they're like, oh, this summer you're going to be so hot. And I'm like, bring it. Because I'm cold-blooded. I'm always cold, and I would love to be hot. I love summers because I love to feel warm, you know, hot. I would much rather be hot than cold if I had to choose. I know most people would rather be cold, but I'm always cold and I'm sick of it. But I'm not feeling hot, and my doctor said, there's nothing wrong with you if you're not feeling hot. You don't have to feel more hot than you normally would while you're pregnant. That does happen a lot, but the opposite also happens. So, and they're both normal symptoms of pregnancy. And I said, well, could I have like a hormone problem? And he said, it's possible. And then he looked up my test results from my last hormone check, and he said, last time we checked, your hormones were perfectly normal, but we can check them again if you want to. But, you know, that does not raise any red flags, and, you know, you're so early on, and, you know, like if I were in the middle of summer, 100 degrees out, if I felt cold, then yeah, something might be wrong with my hormones. But he's like, you're not feeling like extremely cold, you're just like your normal body temperature feeling cold, or feeling, you know, how the seasons are right now. So there's no real reason to be worried about hormones or anything. And so I said, okay, let's wait and see, you know, check this summer. If I'm still feeling cold this summer, let's check. And he's like, yeah, I really don't think there's anything to worry about. And so I just told him, you know, people are telling me all these, like, you know, you should be feeling this, you should be feeling that. It can get frustrating when people tell you how you're supposed to feel all the time. It gets really old, you know? And he said, my doctor said, when people go into this, you know, you should be feeling this, you should be experiencing that, you just tell them, hey, that was your experience with your pregnancy. That is not my experience. And I do not have to own your experience. What I'm experiencing is normal. I've confirmed that. And, you know, talk to the hand. Basically what he told me. You don't have to put up with that. Is basically what he told me. And, you know, don't let people scare you. Don't let people cause you unneeded worry and stress. You know, life as we know it is stressful enough. Unless you're experiencing something really crazy with your health, you know, go to the doctor. What if it's something like, I'm not experiencing that symptom? So what? That's fine. Bring it up on your next appointment with your OB or with your midwife, whoever it is that is taking care of you with your prenatal care. Bring up any concerns. Another little tidbit of advice. This is my first pregnancy, but I was just thinking the other day how lucky I am, how fortunate I am that I really like my OBGYN. I really like him. He's got a great personality, and he always makes me feel better. You know, he's uplifting and makes me feel more confident, and I feel that's so important. If you have, you know, whoever's taking care of your prenatal care, whether it's a nurse practitioner, midwife, OBGYN, whoever it is in your life that's helping you take care of your prenatal health, you should be able to ask them questions, and they should be able to give you non-biased answers to your questions. And you should never be afraid of them getting mad at you for any reason, okay? So if you're afraid to ask questions, you probably do not have the right person in your life to talk to. You should switch doctors, switch nurses, switch whoever it is. Switch to someone else, even if it's in the middle of your pregnancy. Switch, because you need to be able to ask these questions and feel better when you leave the office. Feel uplifted, more secure about yourself, less worried. Peaceful. I've really been feeling like I can feel my belly is trying to expand. I don't feel like my skin stretching. I cannot literally feel my skin stretching or anything crazy like that. But I feel like my muscles are kind of tender. You know, like when you do an ab workout and then like the next day you're sore. Sometimes I feel like that, especially at night. If I kind of wake up and roll over, sometimes it kind of hurts, like it's sore, like my muscles are sore. And that's why how I feel like I'm starting to grow. Things are pushing against my muscles. That's what it feels like. Very slightly. It's nothing, you know, really painful. Just a very slight feeling. So with my first trimester, I was kind of tired. For about a month, I had mild morning sickness. Week 8, that faded away. I felt better after that. But I still have days where I feel like my energy has been zapped. And I think it's mainly because sometimes I don't sleep so well. Disturbed sleep is one of the major symptoms of pregnancy. Not everybody experiences that, but I do. That's one of my experiences. And I do sometimes wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, I could go jog a marathon right now. I have so much energy. And I can't fall back to sleep. Now, I have not experienced that symptom in a couple weeks. So I actually feel like I have a little more energy for the past couple weeks. Now it's more like I just wake up a little bit earlier than I used to. Instead of waking up in the middle of the night, it's more like I wake up early now and I don't want to go back to sleep. So, but not too early, maybe just like an hour earlier than I used to. Because of my work schedule, I would get up at 9 in the morning, but I usually get up at 8, sometimes 7:30. So things have changed. That's just the way it is. So I actually feel a little bit better now that I'm in the second trimester. I don't feel nauseous anymore. I'm sleeping better. And yeah, those were the really only negatives I had. So I'm feeling a lot better. Really, I mean, I wouldn't even know I was pregnant unless I knew I was pregnant. You know what I mean? Like, I feel almost back to my normal self. Except for, I do feel a little bit like my belly is stretching, is growing a little bit. So that would be a sign. So yeah. So anyway, that's it. This video's over. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know how you're doing. Bye.